How you doing? How you doing? How your mama doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? So what's going on, y'all? Happy to be here. So first of all, changed up a little things. So initially I was going to do the whole perfect neighbor, tonight, but I didn't get to watch that last night. Went to bed a little bit late, so didn't get to enjoy that last night. So I don't want to get on here and talk about something that I don't know just based off of other people's reactions, you know what I mean? So we're going to watch that this weekend, and then we will discuss that next week. You feel me? So let's see. So so that's one thing. So another thing. So typically I would tell y'all about my week and stuff on Saturdays, life be lifing. But I really got to let y'all know how my day went, just in case you was asking. If you wasn't, I'm letting you know anyways. Okay. So today, picture it. No, but for real. Anyways, so I had to fire someone today, y'all. You know what? Long story short. Long story short. And I even have a picture of it, but I don't have their face or anything. And I even thought about putting it on Discord just so y'all could see why I was like, and I may still, because again, there's no face on it. You don't know who it is. Actually, it looks like he got knocked out from the back and he landed like that, just like boom to the face, like laying down. Anyway, so what had happened was, okay, so you guys know I'm gonna, but hey, Ken, how you doing? Hey. But yes, I'm going to, because again, you can't see,
I'm on you.
Yeah, you're on mine. You can't see his face or whatever, but it's freaking, like, I was like, as a boss, as a manager, I was like, this mother, but then separate from that, like, if somebody was to send that to me, I would die laughing, okay, so anyways, when you see it, you'll see it. Okay, so I, as you guys know, I am a property manager, of an apartment complex, and so I have, a couple of maintenance guys and things like that. So I have this one in particular, and he's new. He just started there, and not only did he just start there, working there, but he just moved in there too. Okay, so. He started out saying that he was he had a breathalyzer thing on his car, and he had it on there because on what was it, the Super Bowl, he got toe up from the flow up, and the next morning he was still toe up when he was on his way to work, and he got stopped and he got a ticket. He had to go to court, and he was doing a what you call it when you get it off your stuff, like you ain't never been in trouble before or whatever, so you get it off a diversion. And all this, and that he doesn't drink like that, and all this stuff. So okay, all right, so I believe it, because at this point I have no other choice, again, because I don't know him like that. I just met him. And so he ends up, moving in, and there's a couple of things that he does, and I'm like, I don't know about this dude, like, I don't know about him. Like, again, y'all already know how I am with energy. You already know how I am, and the energy was off. Like, something about your little bitty self is just not setting right with me. Like, something ain't right. Like, and he would be real, like fake, like he would call people buddy all the time, and that right there got me looking at you sideways, sir, because what? First of all, I don't even know you again. Why are you calling me buddy? And you're a little dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. So anyways, as this goes on, again, he moves in and everything, and he's just doing a couple things just kind of not right with me. And then one day, it's like me, the assistant, the other supervisor, and him, and we're like closing down the pool and stuff, so we're helping him or whatever. And the other two, the assistant and the supervisor, they smell alcohol. Okay, so they say something about it, and so then a little bit after that, so we'll say a couple days after that, so he comes in and he says that he needs to go. Actually, he don't even say that he needs to go. He comes in early, he like clocks in, he does some things, he leaves, he calls the supervisor like, hey, I gotta go do some things or whatever. Anyways, he's gone for a minute. So it's probably about from 9 o'clock in the morning till like noon or something like that. And he comes in and he is, I'm in my office, and he comes and he's sitting him at the front of my desk. And so he gets to talking or whatever. And so I'm like, I don't know. That smells like rubbing alcohol right there, like fresh. Like he like took a couple shots and took it to the head, took it to the head. And I was like, okay. Again, I'm watching you, because again, why y'all? Because the energy was off and I ain't feeling it. Something ain't right, okay? Because I'm smelling the liquor and you on company time, okay? That's all I'm saying. So anyways, so then that happens. So this carries on, So I am, walking my property, and I'm looking at things that aren't done, and things just ain't adding up, y'all. It ain't adding up. The math ain't mathing. Okay, so then a couple days ago, he comes in and he's talking to, the assistant. And I was out of the office at that time. So I come in the office, and Rio Eddie, hey, welcome. Thank you, new followers. Welcome. So, yes, back to my story. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Yes, join us. Listen to, this is the murder mystery. Right now I ain't talking about murdering anybody, you know what I'm saying? But we'll get to that real quick. I'm gonna let you know how my day went. That's what we're talking about right now. So anyways, what was I saying? So I come in the office, and he's in there talking, and he's talking to her. He's talking to the assistant. And he like says whatever, because I'm not really paying attention to him, because again, I'm already not feeling him. So he walks out, and I was like, damn, do you smell that? And she was like, yeah, I thought maybe I was tripping, but she's like, yeah, I smell that. Do you think maybe I'm used to it by now? I was like, you can't get used to it. No. So anyways, we'll say yesterday. Okay. Yesterday, he's in the office, and he's, bumping them gums. Again, why are you in here bumping your gums in front of your manager, knowing you smelling like the liquor, okay? And you all up in this. And the thing is, y'all, this is another thing. This little fool he kind of acted like as if I was like naive. Like I don't know what's going on with things. And so one time in a meeting, I had to let his little self know. I had to address it to everyone, but I was just like, hey, just to let y'all know, like, I may be like this at work because I have to be, what I'm saying? But please don't take me as naive. Like I know what's up. Like don't think that I don't know what's up. Don't think that you clock in and clock out every day at the same exact time, and then all of a sudden one day you forget to clock in because you was late. Don't try to play me, and that's the little thing, you know what I'm saying? So I had to address that one time. Like don't, you know what I'm saying? That I'm not the one, okay? The two or the three for that matter. So, don't bring that over here. I have you out of here. Okay, so that happens. Okay, so we come to today. And I tell you, today kind of changed it up for everyone. Today changed it up for me, and it changed it up for freaking production too, because now he got other extra shit that he has to do now, because we work for the same company. Anyways, so at work today, okay, so lil dude gets on the damn walkie, and he's like, hey, office copy. Hey, what's up? What you need? Hey, I ain't got much to do on my to-do list today. You think I can go home after lunch? So I'm thinking, surely this fool is like, oh, after that he's like, oh, I'm just playing, But anyways, ask a question. And so I paused for a minute, and he did not do such. And so of course, me being me, no. Anyways, carrying on. Like, come on, dude. Like, come on. Okay, so then the day goes on, and we're probably around 2 o'clock. Okay, so then my housekeeper comes in there, and she's like, can I holler at you? I said, holler at me, girl. What's going on? What's up? Holla at me. She was like, can you go over here with me? Hold up, wait a minute. Where are we going? First of all, I don't just be going to places with people, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so she shows me a picture. The picture that I told you that I'm going to put on Discord. That don't have his face or anything, you know what I'm saying? But, so center myself. Is that better? Do I need to be closer to the window like this motherfucker out this damn window right here? I'm telling you. No. So anyways, so she shows me a picture. Okay. So we're like walking over there, and we get to the door or whatever. And she's like, all right, I'm gonna go upstairs, girl, because I ain't even trying. I was like, all right, go upstairs, do your thing or whatever, So I go on in there and I open the door, and I'm not quiet by any means, And he is laying on, so in one of these mech rooms, it's like a long table, and it has like carpet on it, because they like be doing stuff on it, cutting stuff and, things like that on it. Anyways, that's where he was laid up at, like someone like on the top of his head, and he was like, boom. So I go and I smack the table. I hit the table. Let me say that, to where it should have affected him some way. Okay. Boom. He didn't move. I said, hey, he moved. I said, go home. And I walked out. But when I was walking out, I said, go home permanently though. Okay. Walked on out. He tried to call me on the walkie. Nope. I need you to go on ahead and go on. So he comes over to the office, and he's sitting there, and he's like holding on to that table for dear life. Like, oh Lord. Like, I mean, you could tell. And I was like, dude, like, I don't know if you know or not, we can smell it on you. I know that you are intoxicated right now, okay? I need you to go. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to argue. Like, you know how, I know y'all all know. You've been at the point where you've been toe up, and you don't care what happens or what you have to do to be able to lay your head down and go to sleep. That's all you want to do. You can take some yelling and everything, like, all right, yep, you go, oh Lord, you want to lay. That's how he was, like, okay, yep, no, I'm not even gonna argue with you. Yep, yeah, you sure right. Had to let him go. And then he comes back to drop off his keys or whatever, and then he's like, he looks over at the maintenance supervisor, and he's like, man, can you talk to me? Man, maintenance supervisor, he's old school. He's like, I ain't got nothing to talk to you about, man. I ain't got nothing. Hey, get your little bitty ass out of here. Give me them keys, get your shit, and go. Like, because it's the audacity for me. Not only the audacity, it was kind of disrespectful, because you putting in your shit saying that you're done, and then I have to walk this property, and I have to do inspections, and I have to send this shit to the damn corporate office. You think I'm finna lie? Like, because the thing is, they're gonna come down here, they're gonna see. I'm not gonna sit here and lie like, yeah, my shit's looking good, it's popping. No, my curbs need swept, my sidewalks are a mess, my freaking light, like, come on, man. Come on. Get him on out of here. And again, I told y'all already in the beginning, like, I wasn't feeling him. He threw me off. I could tell he was lying and going and this and that. Like, taking hours off to go take shots, coming back. Then I hear that he's, like, drinking the liquor in his coffee in the morning. Like, bruh, I'm going to need you to get it together. I'm going to need you to get it all the way together and get it on out of here. Move it on out of here. So, yeah. So that is how my day went. I have other things to talk about, about my week on Saturday, but that's how my day went. So, deuces to him. But again, like I said, that did kind of bite me in the butt just a little bit, because now
you in the butt. It bite me.
I had to call both of my bosses. I had to call the corporate office, and she was like, all right, bet, this is what we're going to do. Old production over there is going to go over there and work with you, since you got to drive over there anyways. And I'm like, ooh, that's not something I'm telling him. You're going to have to let his boss let him know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling him. So I get home, he's like, you ain't got nothing to tell me? I was like, I'm sure you already know. Hey, I was told about this. So now, for the next probably 2 weeks until I get someone hired, we get to work together every day, then come home and be together, and then come and do the show with y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's what we finna do. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta. You know, we really
might not have a show Friday
night. And you know, get right with Jesus and stuff. You know, things like that. You know, because that's a whole lot of. And then he tried to tell me, you ain't gonna tell me what to do, which I mean I ain't, because the thing is, like, this
just
is
don't
the
say
thing.
nothing to me. Just
this is the thing. He is a very good worker.
And let me
he
get
is
that.
a very good
I don't need
worker.
you telling
and
me.
they know that, and so they're like, you know, and so really, like, the thing is, he really could, you know, be up for a promotion after this, because he's stepping and doing this. Like, he really could. That, and I'm just letting you know now, because I'm gonna speak it into existence. That's probably what it's going to be. I know the maintenance supervisor was pushing for it, so I'm just saying, you know, God, he making moves happen. You know, he might be testing us right now, like, oh, y'all gonna have to work together for a little bit, but you know, good things will be coming. So yeah, so that's what came out of that. Yep. Now production gets to go over there, so that'll be fun every morning, driving together and then driving home and stuff.
Yeah,
but
now I gotta get up early.
Yep. He do, because I leave an hour before he has to go clock in.
Even wake up.
Yup. You know, the family that works together stays together. So yeah. That's what's going on now. So, but we're gonna have a show tomorrow, because, you know, tomorrow will be the first day. No, this is the thing, y'all. I'm supposed to be off tomorrow. Now I'm gonna go in tomorrow because he has to work. You see how I take one for the team right there. I'm supposed to be off. Man, I'm like, you know, do you think, like, if I go ahead and take up tomorrow off and stay off, no, you make me go over there by myself? Oh man. All right, friend, let's go then. Let's go. Shit. Save my vacation hours for another time. Man, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to make sure we are, you know, yes, get it together, you know, no bickering, no fighting. You know, none of that. So anyways, y'all know I don't be on here long, so I gotta hurry up and get on to my story, because, you know, hey, I'm trying to let them know how my day went, you know, because they're interested. I know they are. And y'all gonna be ready to see that picture in the Discord. Y'all wait and see. I'm gonna tell you right now. Anyways, so tonight who I'm talking about is, his name is Pazuzu. And I'm sure, like, if any of y'all really, like, typically, you know, watch murder mystery, you know, because I do, you've heard of him before. Pazuzu Algarad. Algarad. Actually, Pazuzu is a mythical demon, you know. So some people believe in him, and they say, so you know the whole little Labubu thing, or whatever the hell that little doll thing is that's out now, that, like, freaking famous people or whomever be going off over. Yeah, they say that's kind of where that's from. So, you know, y'all walking around like with these little demons on your purses and stuff, you know, not even knowing, you know, carrying something on your back, and then when you go home, see, gotcha. Well, I'm surprised that you don't know about this. So anywho, yes, he's mythical. So Pazuzu.
Isn't that the same one that was on
Yes.
some movie? Pazuzu was on a movie.
What movie?
It's on The Simpsons.
No.
Yes, it was.
Well, it probably was, but that's not what he's talking
That's what
about.
I'm talking about.
I don't know.
One like, not Silence of the Lambs or nothing, but it was on a movie, a major movie.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, it should, he's crazy. And the thing is, he has schizophrenia. Okay, now, you know, if anybody out there has schizophrenia, I'm not talking crap by any means. All
Good.
I'm saying is there are signs there. So if you are a friend or a family member and you see this mutt over here, you know, acting a little funny, you know what I'm saying? The thing is with them, you could be talking about their mama in their heads and you don't even know it. Meanwhile, you're just sitting there like, yep. And they're like, what? You said what? And you're like, wait, what? Yeah, you're goner, because in their mind, you swinging on them. So, just beware, you know, if you have any friends like that, you know. I'm one of them. No, I'm just playing. I'm not. I really am. I'm not. But, so, yeah, just be careful. Just be, you are not. I don't know. Watch one of these nights or when we're doing our show and you just start flipping out and people are like, wait, hold up. Like, he really is doing that damn helicopter.
He said he was.
He said we're going to do it. So anyways, so I have a little, you know, of course, a little video like I normally do, you know, of this full, like, so the thing is, his mama was, you know, his mama should have probably been medicated. I know I need to be. I probably would do better if I was medicated. But, you know, I'll do this right here. Anyways, Inoki, and you get me off. Okay, so let's go on ahead and start the video so y'all can see the... No, first of all, when you guys see his face, so you already know how my mind works. Like, I see his face and I just imagine, like, oh, if I was to see him in a dark house, or oh my God, if he came in your house in the middle of the night or something and you turn the light on and you see his face, when you see his face, like, oh Lord. See, I got to pray about it so I don't dream about it or anything like that, you know, so I don't see him in my dreams or anything like that, because, man, he be cutting his tongue and, you know, yeah, you'll see it. Anyways, roll that beautiful beam footage. Why do you keep doing it on mine?
Go ahead.
Here we go, Zers. Where's the sound?
Where's your mother? Turn it off on.
On what?
A single woman lived for a long time with her son, John. Looking at the skinny boy, often returning from school with tears in his eyes, neighbors had no idea that he would later become a monster feared even by the police. Click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notifications, and we start. Pazuzu Illa Algarad was born on August 12th, 1978.
Obviously, that's not his real name.
In reality, his real name was John Alexander Lawson.
Jan.
At the age of 24, this man simply decided to legally change his name. He was born in California to Cynthia and Timothy Lawson and was their only child.
What would you say if I told you I moved to this with my dad?
Well, I'd say, what? My dad came over yesterday.
When the boy was 2 years old, the entire family moved to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Pazuzu grew up as a fairly happy child, curious, cheerful, and full of...
Isn't that where the witches are?
Salem?
Yeah.
North?
Or no, that's Salem, Massachusetts.
life.
Okay.
However,
I should do something on the Salem witches. What y'all think about witches? You know, I'm kind of,
That's not murder nor mystery.
it's mystery.
That's more,
things soon took a turn for
mystical.
the worse. It started with his
that's
parents'
more a
divorce,
show for
after
last
which his
night.
father, Timothy,
You know,
returned
throw
to
that out there.
California.
There's a show
He
last
simply
night.
packed his things and left. After that, he never appeared.
He said, I'm out of here. I'm going to get some milk.
Cynthia, his mother, moved with her son to the small town of Clemens, North Carolina, with a population of just over 20,000. Almost immediately after the divorce, she remarried a man.
Just side note, I hate when people like ask me like, oh, how many people live in your city? I don't know. I mean, I know it's more than 20,000, but you know, just some of the things I be thinking about sometimes. Carry on.
And named Johnny James. Thus, Pazuzu got a stepfather instead of a father. The boy blamed Johnny for his parents' separation, and as a result, deeply resented him. Johnny, Cynthia's new husband, wasn't particularly fond of the disobedient child either.
He said, your kid is bad as hell, you better get him before I whoop his
and they
ass.
clashed over every
You
little
better.
thing. It reached a point where the boy completely isolated himself. Coming home from school,
But he's so cute,
he
though.
wouldn't talk to anyone and would immediately lock himself in his room. Instead of trying to smooth things over or talk to her son, his mother preferred to ignore his tantrums. She didn't want to acknowledge that her son didn't get along with her new husband.
Hey, whoop your kid's ass, okay? Whoop your kid's ass. If you see that they are acting up or they're doing tantrums, because I don't do tantrums. What the hell you mean you're gonna sit there and act like I don't do tantrums, okay? I'll whoop your ass in the middle of a tantrum, and then you have a reason to sit there and cry and act a fool like you are. So I don't. We never did tantrums. I don't. Beat that ass. That's what we did.
She decided that she would never deny the boy anything to ensure he didn't feel deprived. In Pazuzu's upbringing, the concept of the word no didn't exist. His mother aimed to give her child everything he wanted, ultimately creating
You don't know.
skilled
No,
little
you ain't.
manipulator.
Then you ain't
When
getting
Pazuzu
shit.
turned
You
13,
ain't.
his mother and stepfather took him to a psychologist to address his behavior. But even at a young age, the boy managed to turn the situation in his favor, making the consultant see the problem not in him, but in his stepfather. Naturally, believing the teenager's stories, the psychologist spoke to his mother, and Cynthia in turn began pressuring her husband. This tension led to the stepfather effectively leaving the family, leaving the woman to deal with her son's issues alone. From then on, Cynthia's life began to spiral downward. She started drinking heavily and would disappear from home for days at a time. She completely stopped caring not only for Pazuzu, but also for herself. Then came a period when she stopped going outside altogether. At the same time, random men began appearing in the house, and their interactions typically ended in bed. Cynthia wasn't the least bit ashamed that her son was in the next room. By virtue of his age, the boy fully understood what was happening, and it caused significant...
He knew exactly what Mama was in there doing. Same thing freaking Forrest Gump's mama was up there doing.
significant trauma to his psyche.
She's
From that moment, problems in Pazuzu's teenage life only continued to pile up. Because
She
his
sure
mother
did.
completely neglected him, he stopped showering, wore dirty clothes, and didn't use deodorant. Naturally, his appearance changed for the worse. The lack of basic hygiene led his classmates to notice the unpleasant odors emanating from Pazuzu's
like
unwashed
this
body.
mother smell
As
like
a result,
doo-doo.
He faced a great deal of bullying at school. No one wanted to sit next to him. He was mocked and humiliated not only by classmates, but also by teachers who made remarks.
Okay, so we be telling our kids, we be telling 1, 2, and 3, don't you make fun of nobody. I don't care if they stink. I don't care if they can't read, they don't look right, whatever the case may be. They pick their nose, whatever the case may be. I do not care if your friend is clowning. You bet not. And the thing is, you need to be checking your friend too if they're clowning somebody, because you know what, this little mug right here is going to remember that. He going to come back for you. So, and then if especially he can come get to school, I'm just saying, be nice. Tell your kids to be nice, because kids are horrible, evil.
Pazuzu didn't like this. He often got into fights, which led to him losing all his friends and becoming an outcast. He deliberately started dressing differently from everyone else, shaved his head, and withdrew into himself.
It was smelly
The
as hell.
bullying, loneliness, and lack of support
Smell like
caused
number 7 at
Pazuzu to
Subway,
develop
just straight
severe
extra
anxiety.
onions.
Without psychological help, the
And
teenager's
salami.
condition worsened. Eventually, he stopped leaving the house, talking, or attending school. When Cynthia finally noticed her son's problems, she took him to a psychiatrist. The doctor diagnosed Pazuzu with psychotic disorder and schizophrenia.
You see?
The doctor also noted signs of developing agoraphobia. People with agoraphobia fear crowded places and open spaces.
I have a phobia, and it is tryphobia or something like that. Anyways, clusters. It's it could be clusters of holes or clusters of dots, honeycombs, sunflower seeds, things like that. Clusters of you know what? Let me stop because I'm making my skin crawl. You know.
They are terrified of leaving the house and facing situations beyond their control. Pazuzu was strongly recommended to undergo treatment to alleviate his condition. However, the treatment was quite expensive, and Cynthia simply couldn't afford it.
It made my
one
own damn
seriously
skin
addressed the
crawl,
young
so I
man's
see
mental
exactly what
health.
he's talking about. No.
Eventually, Pazuzu returned to school, but became a true nightmare for both teachers and classmates. This was largely because Cynthia was far from the best mother. Not only did she fail to raise her son properly, but she did
Because I be doing it at 7 o'clock. You know, I be trying to be in and out. You know what I'm saying? No.
The boy couldn't cope
No, it's
with his
okay.
mental health
Welcome,
issues on
cousin.
his own.
Welcome.
To make matters worse, starting at age 13.
Thank you for being
Pazuzu-
here. So what I was saying earlier is, in production right here. You missed my entire story about my day, so I'll tell you about that later, or you can watch it, later on. But no, like right now we're talking about Pazuzu, Algarod. Anyways, he crazy, no, I don't want to say it like that. He has schizophrenia. And along with other things. But no, I was initially going to do The Perfect Neighbor tonight, but last night we went to bed, late, and we watched probably, 15-20 minutes of it, and then we went to sleep because, again, we got to, because y'all was kicking it last night. So we got to bed a little bit later. So we didn't get to watch it. So I'm not doing that tonight.
Don't hate on the show, man. The show is what
no,
it is.
you guys did a really good job last night. And I was proud of you guys because, y'all was awoke last night. But yeah, so I'll do that next week. That way I can watch that this weekend and actually discuss it next week. So yeah, and then of course, I also wanted to do like a different, like the worst serial killer in each state. So I'm working on that as well. But I am going to do The Perfect Neighbor next week. But I just didn't want to do it tonight because I want to know what the hell I'm talking about when I'm on here talking shit. Anyways, carry on.
Pazuzu became addicted to illegal substances and alcohol. To cope with his situation, he simply began escaping reality. Worst of all, Cynthia enabled this behavior.
First of all, Enochian, I do not be hating. I don't be shading y'all at all. I give y'all nothing but sunshine, nothing but light and glitter, I'm here for y'all. I am here for y'all. All I'm saying is, if you're dull, I'm going to say it, okay? I'm going to say it. And y'all livened up a little bit last night, So, hey, I give props when props is due. Carry on.
She bought her son beer just to keep him from getting on her nerves. At 13, he drank about 12 cans of beer almost every day. In a state of intoxication, the boy became even more withdrawn and went into denial. There was another thing Pazuzu turned to in order to deal with his anxieties. It was black magic. From early childhood, the boy was obsessed with horror movies. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, The Evil Dead, Hellraiser, and others.
And cousin, I literally just started this, so you really did not miss anything. Like we legit just started it. Like he's basically he's based off of a mythical creature, a mythical demon. So but yeah, but he crazy though. He crazy.
I want to say it was on one of the Exorcists, one of the second or third Exorcists.
Probably. Yeah,
it was
he's
the
a
Suzu,
demon.
and it was the doll. I think I remember that.
Yeah, see?
In the Win with Zen,
But yeah, you haven't missed
you
anything
can get a
really.
chance to win $100,000. But there's more than one way to win with Zen.
Not just on Halloween, but throughout the year, Pazuzu dressed up as characters from these films and scared neighbors, appearing before them.
Just
as a
seeing
vampire
Hellraisers
or
right
werewolf.
there.
Didn't your
That
little
would
brother used to do shit like that?
Pazuzu
No, my
began
little
studying
brother would, but he my grandmother lived on the corner of this street, and it had like it was kind of like this, like it was at a slant or whatever. And he would dress like Michael Myers, meaning he had the entire jumpsuit, he had the mask, and he had a knife too. And there was a stop sign outside of my grandma's house, and he would stand next to that with my little cousin, which would be Unc's daughter, and they would be just standing there on the damn corner, and my brother would have the knife up, just watching people driving by. And we would be cracking up, but I know these fools that was driving like, oh my lord, these fools over here on Avenue H is tripping. But yeah, yeah. He did
Black
do that.
Magic and
but he wasn't crazy. He
At
wasn't
some point,
crazy.
He genuinely believed he possessed supernatural powers. He told his classmates he could move objects with his mind, control the weather, and curse people he didn't like. Naturally, his stories only gave other students more reasons to mock him. No one believed him. Pazuzu, however, took it very seriously. He read books about magic, learning how to cast spells on people, control their minds, and exert influence. The teenager began performing rituals, making animal sacrifices to dark forces.
If your kids ever start hurting animals, that is the number one rule in serial killing. Number 101. That is the number one rule. You're like, you know what? You know what? He got that damn cat's freaking arms back like a little chicken wing. Like, I think, wait a minute, he's, I don't know. He out there sticking firecrackers up that dog's butt. I don't know. I think he might have a problem. So parents out there, if your kids like, messing with the dogs and the cats, hurting them just a little bit, you might want to talk to them. That's all I'm saying is you
even
might
tried drinking
want
blood
to discuss
connect with the darker
with
side
them.
of reality. Soon, Pazuzu became the talk of the town. The community he grew up in was deeply religious. A teenager who dressed as monsters was obsessed with black magic and killed animals provoked
You gotta
condemnation
carry a knife
outrage
and
among upright
pepper spray
Christians.
around his ass.
Everyone was horrified, which only worsened his mental health issues. By the age of 14, Pazuzu dropped out of school entirely. His agoraphobia attacks became so severe that he literally couldn't leave the house. He hid from the world in his own room and tried not to leave it unless necessary. Over the next few years, the teenager withdrew completely. All he did was drink, take illegal drugs, and occasionally medications prescribed by his psychiatrist. The volatile mix of prescription drugs and alcohol could only lead to disaster. The only person Pazuzu...
So, also, he, seen himself as a, vampire or whatever. And so I've seen, other shows on him, too. I've seen other things, other stories about him, too. Obviously, other interviews and things like that. And they said that his mom... actually started doing the devil worshiping, and she started acting like a vampire and drinking blood and things like that. And so that's kind of who introduced him to that. So okay, I mean, if you turn your kids into it, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
This period of seclusion lasted until he was 18.
Now imagine you see that mother in your basement or something, you turn around and you're like, oh shit, see, that's why you carry something, because you cut him. He could be trick-or-treating, you never know, you cut him anyways.
He got no business being there. The young man slowly began to emerge from his shell. Due to his mental health issues, Pazuzu was granted disability benefits. These were small payments, but the young man wanted more money, so he decided to sell illegal drugs.
I mean, if he had powers and shit, couldn't he just make more money?
Exactly.
With others. Soon, Pazuzu realized that nearly all his clients were very similar to him. They were all societal outcasts, struggling with various issues and seeking support. The young man got along well with such people, which gave him confidence. Pazuzu finally felt he had found the people he was looking for. This realization prompted him to legally change his name.
He looked like the Joker right there.
He no longer wanted to be John Lawson, the boy who was bullied at school, pointed at by neighbors, and who felt his own worthlessness in this world. Only among people like him did Pazuzu Algarad feel significant. He wanted to create a new identity to escape the state he had been in for years.
Like, think about that though. Like, okay, so you know, you're like that man, he crazy right there. Like, but imagine like having to cope, especially because you know, like, again, kids are super duper mean. So imagine, you know, being little and people are making fun of you and things like that, and you have to find a way to cope. You have to find a way to either make these people be friends with you or make them leave you alone. So you got one or two choices. Okay, so if one isn't working, you have no other choice than do the other. Okay, and then to be closed in and to then see people fear you, which they'll leave you alone. You know, like, okay, so I let's say I sympathize with him, because I don't want to empathize with him, because I don't want to picture myself in his shoes, but I would have to sympathize with, like, damn, like, you know, like, because again, he's somebody's kid, he's somebody's child that lost his damn mind, you know, because of his mama, like, really, like in actuality, you know, but he's somebody's child made him this way. Like, that's what's crazy. Like, so I tried to like sympathize with him, but he did some crazy shit. That's all I'm saying. But again, how you raise your children, just keep that in mind.
To religious reasons. Pazuzu is a demon in Assyrian and Babylonian mythology, a powerful and malevolent
Pretty sure
figure.
it was in Exodus.
Pazuzu represented the southwest wind and was considered a bringer of storms and drought in ancient culture. It was also the name of the demon in the movie The Exorcist. This is how the young man saw himself. His surname, Ila Algarad, translated from Arabic as Lord of Locusts. He created a terrifying persona and wanted to become the most frightening version of himself under this guise. His name alone scared devout Christians, and Pazuzu took pleasure in it. To amplify the effect of his name, he got several tattoos that offended the true faith of the people in his town. For example, he tattooed Lucifer and the number 666, a special number mentioned in the Bible, associated with the beast of the apocalypse. He enjoyed it when people looked at his tattoos with disapproval, crossed to the other side of the street, or openly feared him. This
You know, I'm probably not going to openly cross the street if he's coming, because he's going to notice that, and what if he chased me or something like that. But again, if he walking by me, I'm going to walk by you, and you can look at me all you want to, but see, if you jump at me, then I'm going to poke you. And see, now I messed you up, and you was just jumping at me, but I'm going to poke your ass, and it ain't going to be no little bitty ass blade. You know, have you guys ever seen that one movie or that one show, The Following or something like that? And they was just like walking in the street or whatever, and the dude just walks up to them and like bop 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 stabs them, and walks on. Like, sometime I'll be thinking about that, like, man, what if I walk by this person and, you know, they just like shank me real quick? I probably shouldn't think like that, but it's the things that I watch, y'all. You see? No. For real though, I got to keep an open mind. Like, this mama might be crazy right here. You know, let me keep my eye on him. No, I will see somebody, straight shank. Now you say, hey, you ain't like, the thing is, I will see somebody, and if you don't look right, or if you don't look like you're wrapped too tight, I'll make an entire story about you, and not like gossip or anything. I mean, to myself, in my mind, like this. Y'all better be nice, because he gonna be up in here shooting up the place, okay? Or don't be over there getting smart with, you know, him. He about to make your food. You know, I will make up a story. Like, he done already killed his mama, and she's in his trunk. And, you know, like, if I was you, I'd be nice to him, you know. Just, you know, little things. Just keep an open mind. If somebody don't look right, they're probably not. So don't just be going lollygagging around them, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you have your thing next to you, just in case, you know. Words to live by, son. Live by them.
Action intensified because Pazuzu completely stopped caring about personal hygiene. He didn't shower, brush his teeth, or bathe. Or rather, he did so once a year. In Algarad's opinion, Washing stripped the body of its natural protection against diseases and
And the
infections.
backstories.
No, bless
Where
you,
have
nothing
you-
on
Oh, bless
that.
you.
No,
Because you
no,
said
no.
you don't do that anymore.
I say I don't, but you do.
Pazuzu also filed his teeth into sharp fangs. He had loved vampires since childhood and
See?
wanted to emulate them in every way.
Cause his mama.
Moreover, sharp fangs made it easier to bite animals to drink their blood, and possibly even people. He filed his teeth while under the influence of illegal drugs, so he didn't feel pain. The pain came later.
So I have a friend that one time his tooth was hurting, and it was his front tooth. And it kept bothering him, and so he went to the bathroom and he pulled that damn thing out. He sure did. He pulled it out. But not only that, you know how you have nerves and stuff like that in there? So he seen like a nerve hanging down, but he didn't know that it was a nerve because he ain't got no damn sense. He didn't know it was a nerve that was hanging out of there. So guess what he did? He tried to pluck that damn nerve to his entire freaking top of his head sunk in. Literally, it sunk in. No, I'm just playing. But that's how he said he felt. Like, you gotta be a thug. You gotta be a thug for that. Like, for real. For real. You pull it. So to saw your teeth down, you know what I'm saying? Like, a thug.
Algarad also split his tongue down the middle, making it resemble a snake's. The young man, consumed with the idea of turning himself into a demon, began inventing various stories about his origins to seem more intimidating and resemble a real villain.
He's like that. He's like that dude that did like too much acid or whatever, you know, and you know, but he sold weed, and so you got to go over to his house to get some, but you be like, oh shit, he's real unstable, you know. But like sometimes he's cool and sometimes he's not. But again, you got to go over there to like get the stuff. So you got to like, you know, you got to be careful. That's what he gives me.
Character, he told people his mother worshipped the devil and his father was a high priest from Iraq. Pazuzu claimed he was Muslim,
But he got
though
the
of
good
course
stuff,
he
so you
never
got to
was.
go over there.
After the events of September 11th, 2001, in the United States, when the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center were destroyed, Americans were wary of people
Only.
of other religions.
Especially
This
to
is why
disfigure
Pazuzu told
yourself
everyone
like
he
that.
was a follower of Islam to stir up even more panic around himself.
Limu Limo at your service. Here to help you save hundreds by customizing your car insurance.
That's a long ass
His
limo,
main
first of all.
spiritual teacher and inspiration was the infamous Charles Manson. Algarad admired how this man controlled his followers and made them commit crimes for him. In the style of a true cult leader, Pazuzu created his own
He was
religion
another crazy
based
ass
on a
fool.
mix of various beliefs, which included monthly animal sacrifices during the dark moon. Pazuzu Illa Algarad
Yeah.
dreamed of standing out from the crowd.
Speaking of sacrifices, oh my God, on HBO Max, there is a movie. Is it HBO Max? There is a movie, Bring Her Back. Y'all, bring her back. So, Clue was watching it, last weekend or whatever. And
Still haven't seen it.
and he was telling me and the girls about it. And so on Sunday, so we watch it. Man, let me tell you. Oh my God. And it's about like cults and sacrificing and things like that. And if you guys are looking to see a movie that is crazy, and if you like stuff like this, you know what I'm saying, like I do, I'm telling you. Like I was like number 2 was looking at me like, are you okay, Mom? Like I'm not. I let me get myself together, because like, just for example, I'll just give you one little bitty piece just so you go watch it if you want to. Just one little bitty piece. So Clue's like, you might not want to watch this part. You might want to put your head down.
I said it gets
you might want to
crazy
close your
after
eyes.
this point.
And I'm like, oh, well, no, I got to see this.
I'm
I
a
got to
thug.
see this. You know, I'm a thug. So, you know, I say this. I put my head down. I look back up. This person on there has a damn butcher knife and they're chewing on it. Okay? Carry on.
Crowd.
Bring her
attracting
back. That is what it's
outcasts like
called.
himself from childhood and commanding an army of followers. After changing his name and adopting a terrifying image, he turned the family home, where he still lived with his mother, into a place for parties and meetings with future fans. Pazuzu invited almost everyone he knew to hang out at his house, and later, this place became known
Smoking
as
meth
Knollwood
and
House.
everything.
First, because it was located on Knollwood Drive, and second, because the building later turned into a house of horrors that drove neighbors insane. His mother, Cynthia, as she did in his childhood, allowed her son to do whatever he wanted, so Pazuzu turned the entire house into a party venue, and she didn't care. There were 20 to 30 people there at once. They partied, drank, and took psychedelic drugs.
In there
Algarad wanted to
tripping,
create an environment
smelling
where people
like
felt
doo-doo.
where they
And the
wouldn't
number
be judged.
7 at Subway
They
just
could dress however they
tripping.
wanted, say whatever they pleased, and do anything that came to their clouded minds. Guests could act out their deepest and darkest
So
fetishes.
that's how you know people are really in a demonic state.
Yeah, because of the
they
clutter and the
love
nastiness
clutter.
and all
They
that.
love
Yeah.
clutter.
Yeah. So so you see that star, you know, in the circle back there. So at the apartments that I work at, there is a lady there that when you walk by, now she don't have it anymore. But when she first moved there, she had that on her door. Not only that, me and my boss, you know, we have to do inspections, meaning we have to go into people's apartments and make sure your shit is right. If your shit ain't right and it stink, you got to go. No, you got to get that shit clean or you got to go. So anyways, so we're like inspecting it and we go in there and we see like these trays and candles and these little like incense things, you know what I'm saying? We was like, you know what? You're good. We got on out of there. She had it on her door for a while because, you know, who gonna tell her to move it? I ain't. I wish my boss would tell me. I wish my boss. Hey, nope. You tell her.
I have no problem with that.
You tell her. I mean, I got God and everything. I do, but all I'm saying is I don't need that problem. Because the thing is, the girl is cool. She cool. Like she real cool. Just don't bring that over here. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The number 7, yes, at Subway. Go on in there and smell it.
Tell them to make
When
a
you
number
go on to
7.
and you tell them to make a number 7. When you go in it, you be like, oh, damn, that's what she was talking about. Yeah, with extra onions. Like they was back there, like put extra onions on there, and you know what? Maybe saute a few of them and put them on there too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how it was. Hell no, I'm the manager at work. Okay.
And fantasies. If they wanted to do something illegal, there were no issues. Want to smash a TV? Here's a hammer. Feel like trashing the house? Go ahead. Tempted to smash a beer bottle over someone's head?
Because the devil loves that. Because the devil
Pazuzu's
loves
guests
mess.
were free in their choices. They could
Nastiness.
engage in intimacy
You
in
not
front of
taking care of
everyone,
yourself.
urinate on the carpet, or defecate in the corner of the room. There were no rules in this house, and no one cleaned up. Soon,
If you have a
Knollwood
cluttered
House
room, you got a
began
cluttered
attracting
mind.
Dozens of people, and over time, their numbers grew. The situation spiraled more and more out of control. Many newcomers didn't even know the host, so Pazuzu greeted them, told his fabricated origin story,
What the hell he on?
spoke of supernatural powers, and in front of them, sank his
And
sharpened fangs
doo-doo
into
in there,
animals and drank their
okay?
blood.
All I'm saying is
Then he might
anytime
bite
you
his own
add a
hand
sprinkle
and
of
let someone
doo-doo,
taste
it's
it, or
over.
Conversely,
Doo-doo,
offer
baby.
guests
It's
to
doo-doo,
spit his
baby.
blood, and people willingly let him do it. Suddenly, wild bacchanals would begin.
He had the audacity to have a damn dragon in there. Looks like a little bitty alligator. But the audacity to have a Thony in there.
For swapping each other. In
Dang.
one corner, someone was urinating, someone was vomiting, and someone was sleeping on the floor.
You see?
Gradually, the house began to fall apart.
Straight
because no one
smelling
cared
like
for
the
it. No one
garbage.
cleaned, and no one made repairs. Visitors literally trashed the place. The walls were smeared with blood, covered in pentagrams, inverted crosses, and images.
You see, Enochian, you
That's
remember
a
that
nice
one
house,
night?
too.
Exactly, yes. You remember that one night and he was like, yeah, come on in the basement. Now, what would you have done if he looked like that? And you went in there like, damn.
He would have went in.
I feel like doo-doo in here. Like, Yeah, you remember. Stay in that damn basement and you're gonna see him.
Of the devil. Everything was damp and moldy. Human feces reeked in the corners. Carpets and sofas were wet with urine. The space was filled with an indescribable stench of filth. Besides people, 5 dogs
It's
lived in
love.
the house.
I be just
also
trying to help
defecating
you.
everywhere.
You know, you gotta tell me
Rats,
before you go someplace.
larvae,
Don't tell me
flies,
after.
All were permanent residents of Knollwood House. The carcasses of dead animals, which no one ever thought to clean up, littered both
They
the
never
inside
thought.
and
They never thought to clean up the doo-doo either, or the vomit. Like, come on. They never thought to clean it up. You know, let me clean this shit up.
the outside of the house. A dead cat hung from a tree in the backyard. The entire facade was
Damn.
covered in graffiti and signs reading "No entry" and "Gang members
Rockstar
not allowed."
Ned.
No thugs. You see, he said it. He said no gang members, but hey, no thugs.
Were nailed to the fence. It was clear to
We'll
anyone
eat 'em.
that no
should've
sane
read
person
that.
could
You
stay
should
in the
talk
house
about
for
that.
even a minute,
So you
so it's
read
easy
it.
to understand what kind of people spent their free time at Knollwood House. 24 hours a day, black metal music blared at full volume in Pazuzu's
That's
house.
exactly what he
Neighbors
meant.
suffered from the
Hey.
constant noise and stench spreading
Hey, don't
across
be
the
too
street
dark coming
and
up
kept
in
their
here,
windows
okay?
closed. However, none of them
Call
dared
the
to call
law,
police
cousin.
and report the disturbance.
I'm calling the law. You know, I think it's funny as hell when people say call the law. I feel like that's an old thing to say. You know, I'm calling the law. You gotta clutch your pearls at the same time. You know, I'm calling the law. Yeah, it's funny to me.
disturbances. First, people were genuinely
I'm calling the police,
afraid of
but they
alcohol.
better not come and knock on my door and ask me if I'm the one that. No,
And could
sir.
cause harm, while others
Take it
simply
over
didn't
there.
want to deal with an unhinged neighbor.
Exactly.
It was unclear what his disturbed mind was capable of. During this period,
Come and eat your
Cynthia
whole face
and her
off.
son Pazuzu switched roles. When he was a child, his mother held intimate rendezvous in the house, and he was an unwilling witness to these drunken parties.
She was hoeing, okay, and he seen it, okay. That's what he meant. Just in case you guys
forcing him
didn't know
to
that.
lock himself in his room. Now, Cynthia locked herself in her bedroom and was afraid to step into the hallway. She believed that as long as Pazuzu and his friends didn't barge into her room, they could do whatever they wanted.
Shit.
Their roles had reversed. Most likely, in this story, the mother is to blame for failing to raise her only son as a normal person.
Only.
If Cynthia had
Child.
controlled her child and addressed his treatment in time, this story might not have happened. Over time, people from across the country began flocking to this crazy party house. Mostly, they were outcasts ignored by society. They loved the freedom and attention provided by the host of Knollwood House.
I mean, the
Now,
freedom, though,
they finally
like,
felt
I
they
mean,
belonged to a community, something they'd never had before.
you gotta be
and
a
began to
dirty
exalt
mother
Pazuzu,
to be up in there.
worship
Like,
him,
even
and
if
look
you
up to
homeless.
Algarad.
If I was
It resembled
homeless,
a
I wouldn't
cult.
go in there.
And Pazuzu undoubtedly enjoyed all this attention.
Ew,
It
crazy
gave
as
him
hell.
confidence in his own abilities. The young man grew up an outcast, never had close friends, and was very lonely and isolated. Now, all these people worshipped him and were ready to follow his orders. And Pazuzu...
I mean, I just imagine walking in that house and you just see little green fumes just floating in the air. Just, if you, like, you know what? You know, because they say, like, when certain things mix up together, you know, it becomes like a gas or something like that. You know, if they sat in there lighting shit up, they could have blew their shit up. Just doo-doo.
felt unique.
know?
His perverse charisma attracted certain minds, losers, outcasts, people living on the edge, or those who wanted to live on
He
the edge.
needed someone to tell his
Since
ass to
Algarad
set
had
his ass
power
down
over
when
his
he was
followers, he began
two.
manipulating
When he
and
was
controlling
two.
them to
When
see
he
how
was
far they
two,
would go
sit
for him.
your ass down.
Sometimes
No, you ain't
Pazuzu
playing like
was
nothing.
very
Put that
charming
cat
when he
down.
Saw some opportunity.
Hell
If he
yeah.
wanted someone to
A
commit a
couple
crime
of
for him,
skibbity
they
paps
would
here and
gladly do
there
it because
is
Algarad
love,
had
y'all.
power over the
It's
people who
all
came to his house.
love, you know.
Pazuzu didn't
Now, when you
just
start
have
bringing
male
out hammers and
followers,
stuff, that's a
he
totally
also
different
attracted
thing. But
many
you know,
women.
when you give the skibbity
By
paps
then,
at an early
Algarad
age
was
and you
over
let them
30,
know, like,
while his admirers were
you know, when you're like, you know, you're cooking and you have the oven on and they touch it and you're like, hey, that's hot. It's hot. Now, let me tell you something. if I tell you too many more times, I'm gonna let you touch it. I'm gonna let you touch it, and then you're like, it's hot, ain't it? It's hey, and they won't do it again. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. For a kid, that's all I'm saying. That you gotta teach them. Hey, I told you not to do it. You did it. It hurt. Don't do it again. You know, it's hot. It's hot. But nobody told him that. Nobody told him it was hot. Now here we are. Okay?
Barely
It's
out
hot.
of their late teens, aged 18 to 20.
Somebody was holding his
Girls
eyes
were
open.
much younger, far more vulnerable and naive.
And
making
I mean,
them
come
easy
on,
to
and
manipulate.
homely as
Moreover,
hell. Like, let's
the
be
fans
real.
he interacted with at Knollwood House fell head over heels for him.
Because how, as a female, you go over there and you liking this little smelly ass, like this, by this time, he probably smelled like vinegar. Like man, like he could have used some vinegar. She probably should have went over there and sprinkled him with some vinegar and some baking soda on his little nasty ass, you know, rubbed it in his hair and stuff. Like, the smell of it all. Just the thought of the smell, it gets me in the back of the throat. You know, like when you see somebody gag and you want to gag, that's what it does to me.
Despite his disregard for showers and basic hygiene.
Just nasty.
In the typical manner of a cult leader, Pazuzu decided to make several of his followers his brides. He wasn't officially married to any of them. It wasn't necessary for him.
Looking nappy as
He
hell
simply
for
called
no
them
damn
his
reason.
spiritual wives or brides. One such bride was a young woman named Amber Birch, born in January 1990 to an ordinary family. Amber had a
It's
happy
the ordinary.
childhood,
Like, why
excelled
like
in school,
just
and her greatest
ordinary,
passion was
you know.
horses, which her family owned. She often rode with friends and spent time in nature. In 2008, Birch graduated high school, and that's when she first met Pazuzu Algarad. She was 18 and he was 30. A relationship developed
I
between
said,
them, and Amber changed literally overnight. She stopped caring about herself, stopped showering,
Just
tried
nasty.
illegal drugs for the first time,
And she
began
was a
drinking
girl,
alcohol.
so she was smelling
She
even
turned her teeth into
nastier.
fangs as
What up, Rod?
media.
What
Her
up?
status claimed she was legally married to Algarad. Her entire life revolved.
Welcome to the murder mystery. You know, we in here talking about murdering and mystery and stanking and you know, all that good stuff. So welcome.
Around worshiping her so
Hi
Kind
guys.
of chatter. Rod, appreciate you stopping by.
Appreciate you.
Was a young woman
Hello. Uncle Wifey, you're in the house. Hello.
Uncle Wifey?
Yes, welcome. Hey, it's better late than never. It's all good. You know, we in here.
So just
You know?
go ahead and freshen up everybody. Let
so-
everybody know where you talking about, where we at.
So right now, so I was gonna do The Perfect Neighbor tonight, but again, we didn't watch that last night, so I'm not gonna get on here and kiki with y'all about it, and I don't know what's going on with it. So we're gonna watch that this weekend, and we'll do that next week. But tonight we're doing Pazuzu Algarad. Crazy as hell.
But I don't think he's crazy. I think
He's really is.
Somebody needed to whoop his ass when he was young, and they didn't.
Like, yeah.
And somehow he got some little.
Like, his mama gave him everything that he wanted. Like, he wasn't disciplined. He was killing animals. And you already know, again, the number one thumb, serial killer, killing the animals, things like that. He was doing things like that. His mom was into devil worshiping and vampires and, and hoeing. Hoeing. You can't forget about the hoeing part. So, yeah.
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, we follow you back. We always support who we follow.
So yeah, but Pazuzu, that's who we're talking about. He got some things going on. He is schizophrenia and a couple other things. Again, like I said, along with mama not whooping that ass, getting whatever he wanted, things like that. Because over here we whoops ass. We whoops ass. She did. She absolutely did. Like, she didn't go get him help. She didn't do, like, there was no getting him help. That's why I said earlier, I sympathize with him. Like, my heart feels sad for him because it's like, he didn't have anybody. People seen And he was picked on. He was picked on in school. People messed with him. They called him names, things like that. You know, he became reclusive. He wouldn't leave the house and stuff. And again, you know, his mom was like that too. So he had no chance. Like, he had no chance. So to see a child that you see that has no chance, and you see that they have no chance, is super heartbreaking. So that's kind of how I see him. Now, would I be, you know, up in his home, or, you know, maybe, you know, any kind of type of, nothing with him. Again, my heart goes out to him though, but he is crazy, you know, he is doing the damn thing, you know. He shaved his teeth so that he could kill flesh, he could, rip flesh. He sawed his tongue in half, you know, so he could feel both sides of his face, you know, things like that. So that's kind of where we're at now. His house was super filthy. They would doo-doo in the corner, and, you know, pee and puke, and, you know, they was throwing around red onions and things like that, you know. So you can imagine. And he had wives. One of them didn't have eyebrows, you know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at right now.
Named Crystal Matlock. She met him when she was 20. Her situation was very similar to Amber's. Crystal was completely consumed by Algarad, calling him her hero and savior, worshiping him and forgetting about her family and close friends. Besides Crystal and Amber,
that's what every husband needs right there. You know, every husband want that. Every husband want that.
How crazy do you have to be like, you know what? He smells like doo-doo, and he makes me want to vomit because he smells like vomit.
But I loves him.
I loves him. Like, hell nah.
That one me. That's me though.
Oh, he got my eyes burning and shit. You know what I'm saying? They twitching and shit. But, you know, like, he mine. Like, I love him. Like, hell nah. Like, he got a little gas thing that follows him when he's walking, you know. It's green, like toxic, like it looks like he has the coronavirus, just always following it. Just a nasty little, like, how you getting some? You know what I'm saying? How you getting some? And then when you are getting some, that makes it even worse. That makes the smell in that house even more potent, man. Like, I'm telling you. Just a little right behind him all the time. Like, you little dusty ass, little nasty ass, little onion infested, little, you know.
Considered themselves Pazuzu's brides.
I guess there's somebody for everyone, you know. That's what they say.
The parties at Knollwood House continued, and with the rise of social media, rumors of the wild bacchanals spread quickly. In 2009, things at the house took an increasingly darker turn. If Pazuzu previously boasted about supernatural powers, he now began showing everyone his weapon collection, consisting of numerous knives and several guns stored in the dishwasher.
Not the dishwasher. He had nunchucks and shit.
He wasn't using the dishwasher.
Hell nah.
Using illegal drugs, killing animals, and disturbing the peace. He felt untouchable, and began revealing an even crueler side of his personality. Now, when new guests came to the house, Pazuzu bragged that he could easily kill someone. He claimed he had killed several homeless people just for fun, and then sent a couple of prostitutes to their deaths. He told
so don't take your ass over there!
In his backyard. When someone expressed doubts about these stories, Pazuzu said that similar skeptics were lying in his basement, and the smell in the house supposedly came from.
He's like, you want to go down there? I'll show you right now where they're at. Right now, in the freezer.
Warned new guests that if they didn't follow his orders, they'd end up in that basement. The scariest part was that this didn't scare or repel people from Knollwood House. It attracted even more. Most likely, people simply turned a blind eye to what Pazuzu was doing. They just needed an environment where they could freely use illegal drugs.
My blind eye is like that. Like,
In 2009, two men visited Algarad's house for the first time. Joshua
That's where you went wrong right there.
And Tommy Dean Welch. Joshua Wetzler was 32 at the time. He was born in North Carolina, and after graduating high school, met a girl named Stacy at a music festival. They bonded over their love for horses. The two hit it off immediately, and a romance sparked. In 2002, the couple bought a small plot of land, turning it into a small rehabilitation center for horses. Soon, Josh and Stacy had a son. As construction on the property progressed, the couple began facing financial difficulties. To earn some money, Josh started a business trimming hooves. Things seemed to be looking up, at least enough to stay afloat. But one day, Josh made the mistake of ordering hallucinogenic mushrooms by mail. He was caught, and he was charged with a criminal offense. After that, his life fell apart completely because clients stopped coming to him. Josh was fired from his job.
Oh, really? That's crazy. Man, I know she got some stories for real though. Like, I'm like, girl, tell me more. That's crazy though.
And couldn't find another. Soon, Stacy left him, taking their son and gaining full custody. The father was only allowed to see his son under supervision. Due to one foolish mistake, his life went off the rails.
What did it say?
Joshua Wetzler became a
he met the girl
societal
that said
outcast.
she lived on the same
He
street as
faced
him.
financial struggles and was forced to sell illegal
Where's
drugs
this at?
to support himself. This activity brought him into contact with unsavory people. That's when he first met the host of Knollwood House, Pazuzu.
Man, if she
Algarad.
wasn't, like, damn, but if
In the
she
summer
was,
of
that's some crazy
2009,
You
That-
said I
that's
didn't know she
crazy.
was telling the truth.
You be like, dang, I don't know, but that's a crazy story. It is. And to tell somebody that story, you're like,
But that visit was the last. Stacy and her son never saw Joshua again. At first, the woman thought Wetzler had violated his probation and was sent to prison. Or perhaps he had fled to another state to avoid the police. But it later
Nope.
turned out that Josh had simply vanished from the face of the
because
earth.
Pazuzu ate
and no
his
one
ass.
knew where he went. The second man was Tommy Dean Welch. He was about 30 years old.
He ate him?
Tommy was the eldest of 3 brothers. He grew up in Arkansas. His passion was cars. He was
that's what
skilled
they
with
say, he was
engines
like a-
and could
a
fix any
cannibal.
breakdown. Tommy was devoted to his family,
So he
where
would,
he
like,
had
eat
2 young
some
nephews. The man never used
parts.
anything illegal. He rarely even drank alcohol. Somehow, in 2009, Tommy met Pazuzu, and it led to devastating consequences.
Because
for
why?
them.
Because he went over there.
On October
Hello,
3rd,
welcome, welcome,
2009.
welcome.
Welcome in. Appreciate the follow.
Thank you for following.
Tommy Welch spent the
Sit
day
back
with
and
his family.
enjoy.
Yep. You know, we talk about murder mystery. Talk about murder mystery. That's what Thursdays are about. You know, murder mystery and me. You know, so we talking about a little cannibal vampire Pazuzu right now. You know, he going around doing the damn thing, acting crazy and things like that. You know, so watch, enjoy. You know.
His brother's
Thank you
house
for
to
coming.
continue catching up. But Tommy never showed up. His relatives tried calling him, but Welch didn't answer. His brothers
See,
went to the
but that's
house
the
where
thing.
he had been
He
living
probably
recently,
went over the
but he
house
wasn't
to that
there
house
either.
going to get
This
something, and
behavior
he
was
got
unlike Tommy. He cared too much about his family's feelings to just leave without warning. The family reported him missing to the police. Days turned into weeks. Tommy's brothers scoured the area, searched the woods, and questioned countless people, but found no leads.
You seen
Tommy
Johnny?
Welch, like Joshua Wetzler, had simply
So both of these
vanished
guys come
into
up
thin air.
missing?
Yes.
Regardless, one person stood at the center of both disappearances, Pazuzu Algarad, and he continued to throw wild parties at his house. The only
I
difference
mean,
now
y'all ain't
was that his
smelling
stories
it?
about captives
Y'all
locked
in there
the
just-
walls were joined
Y'all
by
ain't
a
smelling
tale
the
that
death?
he had killed
But at this
2
point,
men
it
he
smells
had
like death.
disagreements with. Then, with the help of his 2 wives, Amber Birch and Crystal Matlock, he dismembered the bodies and buried them in the backyard.
Old no
Pazuzu
eyebrows
told this story
McGee.
to almost everyone who entered his house, but none of the listeners did anything about it, didn't dig into details about these men, and didn't go to the police. Many assumed it was just another
'Cause
of
they smell
Pazuzu's
like it too.
fabrications,
Yeah, just
as he loved
nasty.
shocking people. Months passed, but no one knocked on the doors of Knollwood House to
You
inquire
know the water
about the
probably
missing
don't
man.
even work.
Hell
During this
no.
time, Algarad, of course, had run-ins with the law, but they didn't
The
involve
law,
Tommy or
y'all see?
Joshua. He was accused of assaulting a woman, but received only probation.
Should have sprayed his ass with some Lysol
Pazuzu
and some
attacked
pepper
his
spray
mother,
at the
who
same
continued
time.
to live in the house. Once, Cynthia somehow angered her son
Was that
so
my
much
MJ16?
that he grabbed her by the
Yeah.
throat and began choking her. She was so frightened that she reported the assault to the police. Algarad was arrested. Later, Cynthia dropped the charges,
hell
and
no.
Pazuzu got away with it again. There was also an incident where one of his wives, Amber,
Oh,
was
no,
arrested
for Eyebrows
repeatedly
McGee.
beating Cynthia. But Cynthia didn't press charges again, and Amber escaped punishment. No matter how many times Pazuzu had issues with the law, he managed to walk away unscathed. He only received probation.
Because they couldn't take the smell. They was like, he got to get the
In
hell
early
out of here.
2010,
Like, he
about
he
6
need
months
Jesus.
after Joshua Wetzler's disappearance, the police
You
found
said, we'll
his
see your
abandoned
ass in
car.
court, but you got to.
Yeah,
His
you ain't
former
staying in here,
girlfriend
though. You got to
didn't yet know
go.
that Josh was missing. She thought Wetzler was on the run, but she increasingly heard rumors that the father of her child was dead, and someone named Algarad was to blame.
A demon.
One day, a close friend called Stacy and said Josh was buried in Pazuzu's backyard. Not knowing who Pazuzu was, Stacy still went to the authorities. Though she didn't believe the rumors, her friend's words made her worry. It turned out the police had also heard about Knollwood House and the supposed remains of 2 men buried in the backyard.
Get your
But they
ass
couldn't
over
act
there.
on rumors alone. Stacy's report prompted the authorities to take action.
They can't
Finally,
investigate
on
somebody
February
being buried?
23rd, 2010,
Apparently
the police
not.
arrived
Like,
at Algarad's house with a search warrant. They headed straight
well,
to
I
the
guess without
backyard.
a search warrant. That's
But
what
there was a problem. The detectives didn't have the proper equipment to search for bodies underground. Officers walked the yard, moved a few rocks, but naturally found nothing. They had a canine unit with
Moved
them,
a few
but
rocks.
the dogs were thrown off by the strong smell coming from the house.
Of the
so they
doo-doo,
couldn't pick up
y'all!
anything either. The stench of death wasn't just in the backyard.
It
The
was
entire
inside,
building
too.
was saturated with it. As foolish as it
Dogs didn't
sounds,
know
the
what to
investigators
They was like,
concluded there were no
"Damn!"
on the property, and Pazuzu had nothing to do with Joshua and Tommy's disappearance. Both investigations stalled for several more months until another tragedy struck. On June 7th, 2010, the body of Joseph Chandler was found on the bank of a river where Pazuzu often performed rituals. The man died from a gunshot wound. His mother had reported him missing to the police a few days earlier. She described her son as the kindest person in the world. She was devastated when she learned his fate. Since Pazuzu was a well-known figure in the area, it didn't take long
well-known
for the police
figure.
to link Joseph Chandler's
I'd
death
say
to
creature.
Algarad.
You know?
Somehow, 3 men
like
ended
that.
up on the riverbank: Pazuzu, Joseph Chandler, and a man named Nicholas Rizzi. It's unclear what connected them. Most likely, a dispute broke out. Algarad pulled a gun from the car,
'Cause
but Nicholas
Algarad
Rizzi
had the
beat him to
shit.
it, firing first and
Literally.
shooting Chandler point blank. Afterward, both men fled the scene, and Pazuzu allowed Nicholas to hide in his house.
I
When the
went somewhere
police
else.
raided the house with a search warrant, both were arrested and charged with the killing. During interrogation, Rizzi claimed the shooting was an accident, and the detectives believed him. Nicholas admitted he accidentally pulled the trigger and pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to 13 months in prison. That's how much a human life was worth.
Like, that's
according to the
crazy.
Joseph
You got a
Chandler's
year.
mother wasn't even allowed into
You got a
the
year and a
courtroom,
month.
so one can only guess how fair the verdict was. It's safe to say there was no justice in the Chandler case. For some reason, the detectives
She should've went
immediately
and shot his
believed it was an
ass. I'm
accident
just
and
saying.
didn't investigate further.
I'm not saying
But
you do it.
considering
I'm saying I
Algarad's
would do it.
power over people, he could easily have convinced Rizzi to take the blame for the crime. Nevertheless, Pazuzu was charged with aiding and abetting involuntary manslaughter and withholding information from investigators by allowing the suspect to hide in his house. However, Algarad received only probation again. In 2011, Pazuzu's
Exactly when he was little. He didn't get no ass whooping. Ain't nobody whooping his ass. Literally whoop his ass. Like somebody. Damn, whoop his ass.
mother, Cynthia, who had put up with her son's madness for years,
Cut his ass
decided
at this
she'd had
point.
enough
Okay?
and wanted to put an
Poke
end
his
to it.
ass at
For
this
years, she had lived in a locked room in the trashed house, afraid to step into the hallway. She went to the police
Couldn't
and
be
told
me.
investigators she had witnessed a crime. She saw with her own eyes how her son shot a man and then, with his wife,
He
Amber,
probably got lice,
buried the
too, and
remains in
she's
the
sitting there
backyard.
biting his
When the
head.
authorities asked Cynthia
Yucky.
for permission to search the house, she categorically refused. The thing was, she was terrified of her son.
I mean, look at him.
If Pazuzu found out his
I would have
mother had
busted his
gone to the
ass. I don't give a
police,
damn though.
he would have been furious, and who knows how it would have ended. In the end, her trip to the sheriff's office was pointless. The detectives recorded Cynthia's statement, and that was it.
She should have
They
went in
didn't
there
try
and
to
socked his
obtain a
ass in
search
the face
warrant on their
too.
own,
Shit.
Didn't
Put me in the
question
cell.
Algarad, and took
I don't
no
wanna go
action
home.
whatsoever. 3 more years passed. Pazuzu continued to live by his own rules, or rather, the complete lack thereof. and ruined
Look at his
the
little bitty
lives of
teeth
those
right
around
there.
him.
Look like a little
He still
lizard.
bragged to everyone that he had killed several people. Those crimes went unpunished. Neighbors feared Algarad, his own mother feared him, and it seems even the police feared him. How else to explain their inaction for so many years?
I mean, for real.
However, one
What-
person wasn't
how you-
intimidated by the grim image.
As the police, how are you going to be afraid of him? Did you think that he really had sorcery? Did you really think that he was going to freaking shrink your head or, you know, make you disappear? Like, did you really thought he was really going to do something to y'all? Like, y'all could have went in there 2 people and got his ass. But nope, we don't want to do that. He might cut us. But we
of the
got guns.
self-proclaimed demon. Long ago, before
But he's a
Pazuzu
demon.
truly lost his mind and began going insane, he had a friend. Perhaps this was the only person who managed to resist Algarad's negative influence. His name was Matt Flowers. Matt realized that if he stayed any longer, he wouldn't escape the pit he and Pazuzu were digging for themselves.
Yeah, get your shit
Flowers
together.
wasn't going to let illegal drugs ruin his life. So he mustered his willpower and joined the U.S. Army, later serving in Iraq for a long...
You know, Shay, if you can bleed, I'm not scared of you. You know, I'd be scared, you know. I pray, but I'd be, you know, I'm just saying, like, if I seen, but I wouldn't put myself in that position to be in there, you know. Somebody be like, well, you got to come over here to get this. Well, no, hey, I'll go somewhere else. You know, I'm not putting myself in that position to be, in that situation right there, you know, because I don't want to have to cut them so that they
In
bleed.
October
You know, then that means they're
2014,
too close
when
to
Matt
me.
was back home,
I'm scared.
He started hearing rumors that his former friend had gone so far as to kill people and bury them in his backyard. Flowers, now a veteran, wasn't going to turn a
He's
blind eye
straight
to
white
such
power.
lawlessness.
No,
He went to
Straight.
the police and asked them to investigate
Yeah, they don't mean
what was
nothing.
happening
Whatever
at
they just
Knollwood
said right
House.
now.
Surprisingly,
Don't
this time,
judge him.
the
I'm
police
judging.
took the report seriously and finally decided to do their job. Detectives obtained a search warrant. Experts brought all the necessary equipment.
Yeah, like now,
And 5
yes,
years
this stinky
after the
mother. Yeah,
disappearance
yeah,
of
he
the two
crazy.
men,
Let's.
2 shallow
He
graves
said it, so
were
let's
found
go get
in
him.
Pazuzu's backyard.
Gun, yes. Knife, no.
The skeletal remains were later
Nah, you gotta go with
identified
both.
as those
Both.
of the missing Joshua
get too
Wetzler
close.
and Tommy Welch. If the police had shown some diligence the first time,
Okay.
they would have found the remains sooner.
Do
And then
your
perhaps
due
Joseph Chandler
diligence.
would still be alive. The most horrific part
That was
is that
Mama
Pazuzu
MJ.
never hid what was buried in his garden. Algarad was finally arrested along with his 2 wives, Amber Birch and Crystal
Yeah,
Matlock.
get his musty
After
ass
the
in there.
arrest,
2 little
detectives
musty
thoroughly
asses
searched
too,
the
just
house.
smelling
Photos
like
of the
7.
interior
Just
of Knollwood
ugh.
House made it to the media.
Just
The
gas
public
bombs
was
all
shocked by the
around.
horror taking place in the house.
Yucky.
Garbage was everywhere.
Garbage.
Furniture was broken, and walls were smeared with blood and covered in
doo-doo.
spray-painted graffiti. Fortunately, the photos couldn't convey the stench that filled the house and its surroundings. During the investigation, detectives had to interview countless people who visited Pazuzu's house, but they never fully figured out how Josh and Tommy ended up at Knollwood House.
Right?
Algarad
They went
and
to
his
go get
wives
some shit.
said
I told
almost
you.
nothing. In the summer of 2009, Pazuzu got into an argument with Josh Wetzler, pulled out a gun, and shot his rival 7 times in the head and torso. Then he dragged the body to the basement to
But
dismember
why
it.
is he using weapons? You know what I'm saying? He got this, you know, right? Right? Like, isn't that the whole thing? Like, he got these superpowers and stuff. So if I was a friend or something, I'd be like, wait a minute. Why didn't you do this instead of shooting his ass? You know, just so I know that you really, you know, doing what you say you can do. You know? I mean, if I was crazy and I was friends with him, you know, I'm just saying.
Killing somebody.
With the help of the 2 women, Amber and Crystal, He buried the remains in a shallow pit in his backyard. The reason for their argument couldn't be determined. After the killing, Pazuzu took a blood-soaked bandana from Josh and wore it. He even appeared in that bandana in an adult home video. This served as another piece of evidence against him.
Crazy as hell.
In October 2009, Tommy Welch was sitting on a couch in Pazuzu's house. He was sent to the afterlife with a shot to the back of the head. The men had also argued beforehand.
He probably sitting
However,
there waiting for
this
some weed
time,
or something,
it
and then
wasn't
bam!
Algarad who fired the shot, but his wife, Amber. Tommy
Oh,
met the
no
same
eyebrows.
fate as Wetzler. It remains a mystery how Tommy and Pazuzu met. Welch didn't use illegal drugs, didn't suffer from depression, and wasn't an outcast. How did a man who spent the day with his family end up at
He
Knollwood
probably
House?
went with the
His
friend, and the friend was
relatives
like,
never
nope, I
found
was
out.
never there.
Pazuzu Algarad and
That's
Amber
what
Birch
happened.
were charged with intentional murder. Crystal Matlock was charged with aiding and abetting. All three were behind bars awaiting
Musty as
trial.
hell, though.
However,
You know,
the
they was
dark worshiper never
fuming.
faced trial.
Literally.
Early in the morning on October 28, 2015, 36-year-old Pazuzu Algarad was found dead in his cell at the Central Prison of North Carolina. His death was ruled a suicide. He bled to death from a deep cut on his left arm. The tool he used remains unknown. Some speculated
probably
he
his
bit
fucking
his own
teeth.
arm with his sharpened teeth. Others suggested prison staff allowed or even helped him take his life. But these are only unconfirmed rumors, as the autopsy couldn't determine the exact cause of death. The worst part of his death is that Pazuzu
You don't know
was the
how he
only
died,
one with answers
and he
to
was in
many
prison.
questions.
You don't know if he cut himself,
Now,
or you
much
don't
will
know.
remain a mystery
They
for
poisoned
the
him.
families whose loved ones
Cyanide.
died at Algarad's hands.
Tell me.
The mother of one victim said the dark worshipper cowardly escaped, unwilling to take responsibility for his actions. She hoped he was burning in hell.
He was.
Later, in an interview, Cynthia James, Pazuzu's mother, said her son was by no means an angel, but he wasn't a bad person or what people called him.
See, somebody should
Amber
sock
and
her ass
Crystal
right in the
also
eye,
didn't
just so
face
maybe she'd be like,
trial,
oh
having
yeah,
fully
now
admitted
look at it.
guilt.
I'm sorry, we talking about my
Yeah,
son.
yeah.
Amber
Shit.
Birch
Look
was
again.
sentenced to a minimum of 30 years in prison. Crystal
And I'm gonna give you
Matlock
another
received
10 because you ain't got no
years for aiding
eyebrows. Work on it.
Pazuzu Algarad's house was deemed unfit for habitation.
Nasty as hell.
Knollwood House, which had become a haven for a crowd of outcasts, was demolished on April 24th, 2015.
Smell like
The
death.
lot was put up for sale. Neighbors were overjoyed that the
Mustard
self-proclaimed
gas.
devil would never return to their street. If you have finished watching, you are a real fan of true crime. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications, and put the like. See you
Ding,
in the
ding,
next
ding, ding,
video.
ding.
Build a website you love with Wix.
So yeah, y'all.
For your words,
Y'all see what I'm working with?
Create your
Y'all see what I'm talking about?
your opportunity.
That mother plucker right there. Crazy. Crazy. You know, that's why I don't be messing with people. You know, I be nice. Maybe I don't be nice to everybody, but I try to be nice. So yeah, you know, I actually heard about him a long time ago, and I was like, damn, like, you know, he's kind of scary, and he is, like, you know, like, I don't care, like, I be watching these things because, and it does scare me, but then I be looking at people like, I don't know, you look like so and so, you know. I feel like it keeps me aware, you know, like, you don't look right. Your teeth are too sharp for me, okay? Your teeth are too sharp. Your hair is super nappy and you're white. What's going on? You know, talk to me. You smell like, again, you smell like Subway number 7 with extra onions, and I'm not having it. You know, with the splash of doo-doo. What's up with that? What was that? What was that in that cartoon? Yes. So yeah, you know. But yeah, that's what I had for tonight. You know, that's what I had for tonight. You know, not a whole lot, you know. But again, y'all know me. I don't be playing around. Now, I love to do this. I do. I love to tell you guys about the little crazy stories that I know, the little murder mystery, you know, things like that, you know. I do. I love to do it. But at the same time, you know, like I said, 5 a.m. comes very, very fast. Very, very fast. And the thing is, y'all, see, I had planned on initially being like, oh, you know, I could probably do a little bit longer tonight, you know what I'm saying? Because I was off tomorrow. I was off tomorrow. But not anymore. Why? Because Clue got to work over there, so I have to go with him. You know, because I love him. And I want to be there for him. But...
Your narcissist is really showing.
Man, no, I'm for real though. I was off tomorrow, and now I gotta go in. And yeah, because you know he has to go in. So call it what you may. Call it what you want. Shoot, nobody else sees it like that. You see it like that. Okay, well, either way, I'll keep my black ass at home then. You know, have fun. Whatever, you know. I think it's sweet. He may not, so whatever.
You want to talk about what you got for a little bit before you close?
What?
So, I mean, you just got you spend another 20 minutes. That's 2 hours. You could.
About what?
What the show that you, everybody's talking about?
No, I don't want to talk about that at all. No, because I'll talk about that next week. Why am I going to talk about? I don't know what's going on that, so, you know. But yeah. Oh, I mean, I could hey. So, Shay, before you got on here, you know, I fired somebody today. So, you know, I can tell you that. I fired somebody today because that little mug was sleeping on the job. Literally. I'm going to put the picture in Discord. And I only say that because it doesn't show his face or anything like that. Like, it shows, like, his body and the bottom of his feet. You know, sleeping real good. Getting his Z's on the clock. Okay? You know? Because he was tipping it earlier. He was tipping it earlier. You know, and then I could smell it. You know, and then he's like, yeah, you know. I'm going to send it to y'all so y'all can see. You be like, oh, dang. Like, you, And that's the type of shit that I have to deal with. You know? That is the type of shit that I have to deal with. So... it was fun. Not really. But, you know, now I have to hire somebody. So, anyways, enough of that, you know. I told y'all my little story. You know, I said what I had to say. You finished your decorating? You know, I really wish I could come down there for Thanksgiving. I really wish that I hadn't... you know, did my schedule the way that I did, thinking that, you know, whatever. Anyways, like, so yeah, I'm done. So I hope you guys enjoyed, you know, my little scoop of what happened today with me. And, yeah, my little Pazuzu. And again, you know, don't go getting those Labubu freaking little dolls or whatever, because they're evil. They're from that. They're from him. Just keep that in mind, you know, little mythical demons, you know. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my little murder mystery, and we'll be talking about The Perfect Neighbor next week. And good night, cousin, love you, and I will see all of y'all. What up, T-Mac? See you coming here all late and stuff, but thank you for coming either way, you know. Thank you for coming, but it's a Thursday night, so I don't be on here long. You know, I'll be in and out. But, you know, go on back and watch it. Enjoy, please do. But also, please be on here tomorrow night, you know, for Views from the Blues. Tomorrow we're going to have Unc with us, so we're going to be doing our thing on here. You'll enjoy that, you know. And then Saturday night, of course. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hope we see you on here tomorrow night, you know, with the views. And then, of course, on Saturday night, life be lifing, because, of course, y'all know it do be doing that. So, again, thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Bye!
Can I get 20 seconds, please?